What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here and Laurel, and we're here with some information and what's going on here in our country. We have some new news here about the shooting here in Chicago and everything going on here in our country. And yeah, and we have a lot of congressmen and senators now calling for new laws to be passed based on what happened here over the July 4th weekend. And a lot of new details now coming out here. Check this out.
Yep, according to authorities, the suspect that they had in custody has now confessed to that shooting in Highland Park. And on top of that, he was plotting a second attack in Madison, Wisconsin. So lucky that we got him when we did.
Yeah, it's really sad. And the problem is this is happening on a daily basis, this type of thing here.
There was actually another potential shooting that was prevented. Um, I saw the article. I can bring it up if you want. It was over 4th of July weekend. There was a plot to have a mass shooting, and someone found out about it and alerted authorities, and they
Really?
prevented it from happening. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, here's the article. A tip from a hero citizen thwarted a mass shooting planned on July 4th in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, so I mean, you could see this stuff happens all over the country and on a daily basis. And this is such a problem. Such a problem here. Let's go back to Illinois, the breaking news here.
Yeah, so the man accused of killing 7 people at the parade confessed to the shooting and revealed that he had considered a second attack.
Wow.
Bobby E. Cremino the
He's-
third is 21.
And now under this new law that has really just passed, he would have had to go through the new background checks. But
Okay.
go on.
He's been charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder and will likely face many more counts stemming from the dozens that have been wounded and injured during the parade. He went into details about what he had done, and he admitted to what he had done, said the state attorney. Cremino made the confession in a voluntary statement after being reminded of his right to remain silent.
Wow.
After fleeing Highland Park, Crimo ended up in Madison, Wisconsin, and came upon a 4th of July event there.
Wow.
And he briefly thought about unleashing an attack in that city as well.
Imagine if that would have happened. Again, a whole nother one could have happened.
I know. We don't have information to suggest that he planned on driving to Madison initially to commit another attack. We do believe that he was driving around after the first attack and saw the celebration. When he was asked what might have stopped him from attacking in Madison, indicators are that he didn't put enough thought or research into doing so.
Yeah, he just stumbled upon it.
Yeah. The police chief in Madison said that we will never know for certain what stopped him, but I am thankful that no innocent lives were taken from our city. Records showed Crimo purchased 4 weapons in 2020, so he would have been either 18 or 19. And it was an AR style weapon used in Monday's attack that
AR-15, yeah.
And he also purchased a Kel-Tec Sub 2000, a Remington 700 rifle, and a shotgun. Now, what do you need to buy all 4 of those all at one time?
Well, now you know.
And then in 2021, he bought a Glock 43X pistol.
Wow.
That's a lot of weapons.
Seems we have a special guest here with us.
Madam.
But see, this is
Oh, there she goes.
This is part of and this is why we're seeing so much outcry across the nation. Millions and millions of people saying, see, here's the problem is that
need to make it a little bit stricter. I mean, the people who use the guns for not bad purposes, like they hunt or game or they collect or whatever, those people should have no problem having like a 30-day waiting period or filling out the information for your background check. I mean,
Now
if
in
you're
this
a good person, you just file your paperwork and you get the gun you want.
now in this case, the waiting period wouldn't have mattered.
No.
But
But
listen to what it has to say here. Yeah, so in this here it says Highland shooting sparks outrage over gun law loopholes that let suspect slip through. Illinois' red flag law could have disqualified the shooter from legally obtaining guns, but he was still able to purchase 5 firearms.
how?
Wow. Because there was no red flag laws
Oh,
in place.
okay.
Yeah, you can see here many have decried that the Highland Park shootings as an example of how loopholes within local gun control policies allow offenders to slip through the cracks. The suspected gunman had 2 prior brushes with law enforcement that were not flagged in the multiple background checks needed for him to legally purchase multiple guns.
Mm.
Reuters reported. And this is one reason why they want to have enhanced background checks so that it will pick this type of stuff up, not just what they have now. In April 2019, an emergency call was made after the gunman had attempted suicide, said Chris Covelli, a spokesperson for Lake County Major Crimes Task Force. And in September of the same year, police were dispatched to the gunman's home after he allegedly threatened to, quote, kill everyone in his family.
Now, come on. These are huge signs. I don't understand why these things did not come up on the background report.
Because
This
they,
obviously shows a child or person
well, he
who
was an adult, but
has
just barely over 18.
some sort of mental thing going on, and he's talking about killing people, his family, and tried to kill himself. Like,
And the minimal
whoa.
background checks that they have did not bring this stuff up. And this is why there's millions of people crying out to Congress to pass stronger laws. And remember, New York just passed stronger gun safety laws, and the Supreme Court threw it out. So
Mm.
so this is kind of the battle going back and forth, and meanwhile shootings are happening every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. And it's I get the whole it's a mental health problem, but how do you combat that? And if you actually look at these, the what seems like it's hard to really count these, right? But a lot of these shootings, maybe even the majority of these shootings, they have bought these guns legally because it's pretty easy. You just go in,
Yeah.
slap some money down. Most people pass the background check if they don't go to a gun show and buy it from a private owner at the gun show, and they get the gun. They get the gun. So it's actually easier to get a gun than to go find somebody on a street and buy it illegally. It's actually easier to buy a gun legally nowadays. I mean, you just walk into a gun store and buy it. And you go through the minimal background check and you have it.
Or even, why don't we just have more background checks for higher capacity weapons? If we're not going to ban them, then let's have advanced background checks and waiting periods
Well,
for.
these are all things that people want, or a
Yeah.
lot of people want, but they need the votes to pass it. They need the votes to pass it. And then, of course, you have a lot of people that are scared they're going to lose their gun rights. And I totally understand that.
We're not trying to take away the right. We just want to
Well,
make it a little harder for the bad people to get them.
and really, we're talking about people that don't have guns already.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people get the bad feeling about the Second Amendment, right, is with the red flag laws where they can take the guns from you if you're deemed a threat to yourself or a threat to society. That would have been a perfect example.
Yeah.
The guy literally said he wanted to kill himself. He wanted to kill everybody. He had a suicide attempt. I mean, that would have been a perfect example of where the red flag law could have came intact if it was, there, and a court judge deemed it necessary. The problem is you have people that are for guns, the NRA, and people that are against the red flag laws don't want to pass anything along those lines. So the problem is if you don't have any way at all to take away a gun unless somebody literally goes to prison and doesn't have access to freedom at all, how do you stop somebody like this? There's no legal way at all.
Well, they shouldn't have been able to purchase the guns in 2020 after the attempted suicide in 2019.
So all these ways are reform that millions of people are crying out for, that things want to be done. And the majority of them are for people that are going to buy new guns.
Right.
Not even for people that already own guns.
No, they're fine.
The only thing that even applies to people that own new guns are
right.
these red flag laws.
Yeah.
And it would have to be a court judge would have to say, you are a dangerous person.
Basically, something would have to happen with you.
Yeah.
You would have to have something happen.
And you know how few people that's going to affect?
Yeah.
People like this guy who just basically shot up a July 4th parade.
I don't understand.
And was going to do another one.
These venues that these people have been doing this at, I don't get it.
So at what point is enough enough? We look back at the Sandy Hook shooting where Senator Chris Murphy, it literally happened in his district, and he literally became friends with the parents there and was heartbroken. It happened in his district, and he basically had to wait years and years and years for something to happen because he couldn't get anything passed. Congress didn't want to pass anything. Finally, now we got something passed, but many people say it's not enough.
No,
it's too little. This stuff is still happening, and it will prevent some shootings and some deaths. But the question is, will it be enough? What are your thoughts?
I definitely think they need to do something. Make it harder. To get a gun. Make it more extensive background check. Make you have a waiting period, or make it harder to get AR style guns and multi magazines and such. I just think they need to make it a little bit harder so that the bad people kind of get weeded out.
Yeah.
Of buying guns.
And the thing is you're never, ever, ever going to be able to stop all the shootings. But if you could cut down on them by 20%, 30%, 50%, think about the lives that could be saved. Think about the people that wouldn't be scared. Think about the people that are going to be scared to go to parades now, even just for the short term.
Send their children to school.
Yeah. School safety right now is a huge issue, issue. And Congress needs to pass a bill for funding for that, for sure. They need to have bigger school security on that, don't you think? Because this school shootings have been going on for years now.
Yeah, I know.
Years, and we know that this ain't going to be the last one. No. So when does it end?
I don't know.
We're surely not going back to muskets.
No.
So let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think needs to be done to stop this problem? And if you think it's a mental health issue, which arguably so, how do you solve that problem? Because I get that it's the people that pulled the trigger, but it's also the guns as well. So how do you solve the problem? Because they're both hand in hand. It's kind of the same issue. They're both interconnected. You have the people and the guns, and most of these shootings that have happened here, the people have bought the guns legally. Most of these people really can't go out and buy a assault rifle off the streets illegally. It would be pretty difficult. Would you know where to find an assault rifle?
No.
On the streets illegally?
No.
And most of these people probably wouldn't either. Maybe they could find a regular gun,
Yeah, like a handgun, maybe.
you know. But if you look at these stories, if you look at the data on these, most of these people have bought them legally because it's so easy to buy them. And we're just talking about cutting down on the amount of shootings because it's out of control.
It is.
It's out of control.
It
And I
is.
think that most people would agree with that.
It is.
And how do we fix the problem? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country because freedom is really
Up for debate.
up for debate right now. We got Roe versus Wade.
Mm-hmm.
We got gun safety. We got literally the next stimulus package and the Russia war. Everything is just crazy right now here in our country, and we cover it all here on our YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so, and then click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live here. I will keep you up to date here. You can click here to see my newest video of Joe Manchin and the Democrats just came to a new agreement on the stimulus package. So click on that video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
Bye.